Hello and welcome to the Code World. In this video series, we are creating our project named Library Management System. In previous video, we have already created our main page, that is index.php, and also we have created four functions: registration, issue, returning, and add new. And we have already created this named page and their functions. In this video we are discussing our function, that is registration. In registration section we are registering new student, so we should have some knowledge of a student, that what is the name of a student, his number, email, and so on. So first of all we have to create in our mind that what we are going to create. So let us discuss that we are creating a structure, like suppose that structure name is student, and in a student we have some data like his name, his mobile number, his email address, his department, and his semester. Okay, so let's suppose this is his student name, and this is student mobile number, and this one is student email, and this one is department of student, and this one is semester in which he is studying now. So these all must be in a data type, and you have already know that we have one option in C to create a data type like structure. A structure is a user defined data type in which we can create several numbers of members. Members means data type and their variables. So we are going to create a student named data type, and we are storing these values, yani that is name, mobile number, email, in this data type, student name data type. So let's start coding. So I'm closing this. Here we are creating data type, and our data type, what will be our data type name? Just create a structure, sorry, struct and our data type name, that is user defined data type name. Like we are creating a data type and put their name like student. From here we are successfully creating a data type, a structure data type, and let's input from user his name, and length of name is 20 character, his number, and number must be 12 to 15, that is 15 maximum, and his email address, in email it must be less than 50 character, and department department must be 5 to 10, yes, 5 character long, sorry, 6 character long, 7 character long, and semester, we are creating semester in integer type. From here we have successfully created a data type named student. Okay, but their memory is not allocated till yet. Till now only our data type is created, but it not allocate his memory. So just to create memory, we have to call this data type. It means in memory we have to call it data type to create a memory. So create our function, sorry, to create our data, we have to create a variable named this data type. It means student, and let's variable name s1. Now its data type is created. This is our data type and s1 is our variable, but in our C language this is not a data type, and we have created this data type forcefully with keyword struct. So we have to put this struct keyword here to show that this is a structure named student and its variable name is s1. Now our data type is locating memory in RAM. Let's change its name like st. uh, then now we are discussing about file. Now what is the need of file? In this section we are going to store the details of a student in a file, so we need a file. That's it. And our file must be a text format, so we have to create a file named .txt with extension .txt. There is no need to create it manually, it will be created by our function. So let's start. file. File is a keyword in C language. It is a pointer type variable. So we are creating a file with asterisk fp. fp is a pointer typed file. File type pointer is our fp, and in fp we are going to store. Actually fp is in our memory and we have to call our txt file in memory to perform operations on it. So fopen is a function to open a file to establish in memory, and file name, we have not created our file till now, so we can create it by our code. Student record .txt. This is a text file which is not available in our memory, but this function fopen function will search first that it is our memory, is it in our memory. If not, that it will create, and if available then it will only show that. So we are writing our function, we are writing our details in this. So we are creating this type r means write. We are operating writing operation on our file, so we have put r. If we read our file, so we have to use here w, but in this section we are writing in our file, so I have just put it r. Now let's check that our file is opening properly or not. So we have a function, a pointer, that if our file is opening properly, then its location, that is its memory, will assign in fp. But if file is not opening properly, then our fp have a value named null. So if we are checking that our file fp have what value, by using fp we can see that our file is created properly or not. If our file is created properly and it is open in write mode, so its function is that its value, that is its address, is assigned in fp. If fp have null value, it means the file is not successfully created, or it is not successfully run in our RAM. So if we check that fp, our condition is that if fp equal to null, it means If it is not created properly, then we are printing our message that uh, our that something went wrong, like this. If our function, if our .txt file is not properly working or not properly created, then fp will assign null, otherwise it will assign by address of that memory location where a student.txt is located. Now if there is something wrong, then no need to, then we do not have need to create other codes, or we have to run other codes. So simply I am here writing that go to end, and this is a label name is a label here, and we do not have created end till now. So just create our end, but end will create only if and only if our fp have null value. If our fp have null value, then create a label named end and print that you are exit from function due to some file issue. And here we should use a backslash n, and here we should use backslash n. Till now, if our function is not created, sorry, file if our file not created, then our code will show that your file our code will show that something went wrong and you are exit from function. But if our function is created successfully, then we don't have need to write this. It will not show in our code, in our execution. So now let's now see that what our main functions. Now let us create a printf and show a message that how many numbers of a student you want to enter, like enter number of student, and store its value in one variable scanf, one variable named like %d and %n. So we are taking input from user that how many students he want to enter, but we have not created our n variable. So create our variable named n, int n. Now our function is that we will going to create a loop which will start from 0 and run till I value less than our inputted value, that is n. It will run from 0 to n minus 1, that is n times, and increment 1 every time. And we have to all created I variable here. Now let's come to our point. Here we are coding our main function and code like first enter name of student and input that name of a student, and we have one function, sorry, some variables to store this this data. Like to a student, to a store the name of a student, we have already created our named type, sorry, our student type name variable. So we are going to store this value in uh, using a function gets, and store it in st.name. Here we have put an st because st is our structure, and in a structure name is our variable name. Like that we can create some more points, like enter mobile number of a student, and store it in number, and our department, then email, department of a student, and store it in st.dept, and some more points, department, that after email of a student, and store it in email. And last but not least, name, sorry, name not, here we are entering the semester of a student, and semester is a type integer, so we are using a scanf to store integer type value in semester, address of semester. Till now we are inputted data of a student, but it is not saved in our memory. So to save in our memory, we have to use some functions like printf. appprintf is a function which is used to store our value which is you inputted by user, or created by our function in our memory. So we are using our function appprintf, and which our file name, sorry, our pointer name, that is fp is our pointer, and with let's a \n to input in new line, and %s, that because of that it is our string type variable, and in our st dot, sorry, our value which is stored in st dot name. From here it will be saved in the memory location that is created by fp and stored in fp. So fp is a memory location where our st dot name data is going to be stored. Here we have put it \t to input our next data with a tab, with a horizontal space. Next we are going to store, just copy this and store here our fp \n mobile number is st dot number. Like that, here we can write st dot department, and here we can store our name, sorry, name not, email. Like that we can store our all data. Our semester, so we are creating here fp semester, and this is integer type, so we are replacing s by d, and here by semester. So just check our that, so sorry, we have forget to close our fp. So just close close, it is a function to close our memory, release our memory from fp. Now we have successfully created function, just built it. There is no error, sorry, there is an error. We have to use a library function in which file is defined. So let's include include our name stdio.h. In this library function our file is defined, and oh sorry, here is one more mistakes, st.semester. Now just build it. Yes, now there is no error. We have to one more thing, that in this series our main function, our main page is index. So whenever we want to create or we want to run any function, then we should run on one and only, that is index.c. If we run these, there is no main function defined. In this section there is no main function defined, so it will not execute directly. We have to run it with index.c. so run it, index.c, run it and choose our registration, that is 1. Press 1 for registration. Here something went wrong, that is our function, our file is not working properly. Just see that what is the error. Come back to our code and see that what is the error. We are facing an error in this section. Student.txt, sorry, we are created this in write section, sorry, read section. We have to use write because we are writing in file, so we have to use we have to use w instead of r. Let's run it again. Here build, and from here we have to run it. Now we are selecting, press 1. Yes, it is working. Enter name of a student. Let's start inputting name like Ashish Kumar, and name of a student again. What is the error? Just see phone number and department. Let's say department MBA, and then press enter email of student. We are inputting, oh sorry, we have inputted wrong thing. That is here name, number of a student, we have inputted name, so we are doing wrong. Let's run again. Input first of all 1 for register new student, and number of a student, let's say 2 student. Here we are facing one thing, that enter name of a student, and we don't have any space to write name, and that offering only mobile number of. So just we are using one thing. Here we are facing a bug. Let's say input a bug like character bug, and string length is 4, and input it before name of a student, that is gets bug, and now we will not face any error. So just see that what is our output now. Run it. Here is something error, gets bug is, sorry, here st.bug. Now build it. Yes, it is running properly. Now run it from index.c. Here press 1 for registration. Let's do a student, enter name of a student like Ashish Kumar, and mobile number, and department MBA, email, and after semester like semester 3, then again it is one is successful, and then second is our, it is inputting second thing, second student name like our Satish Kumar and mobile number, then again department like MCA, email, and again intersemester here. These two students input are successfully written, and then we are exit from program and come to our main page, that is in our index.c, because our function is end. Here from our function, when our function is end, we are again come back from where function is calling. We are calling our function from here, so we are come back to this position. Now let's see that what we enter is successfully stored in our memory or not. Just see that here one thing, student record is created successfully. Now open it, and we can see that our name, our here the first name, this is our first input, and this is our second input, but we are getting this in a next line. We if we want to create it in same line, that is Satish Kumar, then his mobile number, then his department, then so we are using this with a backslash t instead of backslash n. So in first line we are using backslash n, but in next line we are not using backslash n because it is creating our file in next page. So now, and one more thing, we are printing one thing, that our function, sorry, our here print one thing, that student percent d detail percent d detail is success saved, and here we are using one thing, that is I plus 1. In first I, in first i's value will be 0, so here it will save that 1, and again when our loop is iterate second time, the value of I will be 1, and here it will be 2. So just see that what is our output, and save it, build it, and index, run it. Just see what is our, let's say, sorry, we have inputted wrong thing. Again run it, and press 1 for register new student. Here two student named Ashish Kumar and mobile number, and department, email of a student, again semester of a student. Here we are showing that a student 1 detail is successfully saved. Now enter name of second student, then we are inputting second student and mobile number of second student, and then department of second student and email, and again we are inputting semester of a student. This is showing that a student 2 record is successfully saved, and it is come back to our main page, that is index.c. Now just see that what is our output. Now just see that, run it, and we can see that this is in horizontal line. Okay, but one thing is that we the data that we have entered in previous is replaced by it. That's it. Now we are inputting a heading that like name, here mobile number, and department and email. Okay, so we are saying that our previous data is replaced. So if we want to remain remain our previous data, so we have to use here that one thing. Here we have to use that instead of write, we have to append the file. In this, if we using a instead of w, it will append our data. That is, it will start writing our file, writing our content in file after ending of the file. So now just run it and see what is happening, what is our output. Here press 1 to register new student. Now enter number of students, let's say 1, and this is our student name. Our mobile student mobile number is like, and department email, and again semester of a student. Let's now just see that what is our change. Just see that what is our change. Here we are running. Yes, here this is appending in next line. Okay, it is not replacing the whole page, it is append in next line. Okay, but to create our code, to create our entry easy, we can also use a unique code in each for each and every student detail, and it will be created automatically by the function. Just see that what will be our code to create a new and a fresh unique code for a student like his ERP ID. Let's say ERP ID is one ID for which is unique for each and every student, and it will be generated by the system automatically. It will be not inputted by the student. Let's say ERP, and length of ERP must be sorry length of ERP must be less than 15 characters. Yes, 15 characters. So now we are using one more variable named a, and now we are using one function to create it. And one more thing, the ERP of a student will be generated each and every time for every student, so it must be in our loop. In for loop we are using one function and create it like create it to a store value. We are using here one function as rand. It is a function which is used to create a random number according to time. Here we are passing time as its parameter, as its argument, and store its function in a. And here we are using rand function to store to verify a random number. It will create a random number, and it will be it is going to integer type. But if we want to store it as a character, so we can change it in character. So to change our integer number to character, we have one function that is itoa. It is a function which is used to change the data type from from integer to character. Here we have to pass the integer value, that is which is stored in a, and what in which variable we want to store it. Just we want to store it in st.erp, and what is its value, that is it is a decimal number. Here the number generated by rand and are stored in a, so it is a decimal number. So we are specifying that it is a decimal number. We are inputting 10 to specify that it is a decimal number, and its value will be stored after changing to a string in st.erp. To make it more powerful or more primary, as a primary key, we can attach it, or that is we can concatenate it with one unique code. Here we are getting a one code, but if it is concatenate with our department, then it will be more unique. So we are using one concatenation operator and store it in like we are using department to store it. So we are increasing the size of department by 15, and here we are going to concatenate the file, sorry, we are going to concatenate the user, sorry, the ERP with the department. So to concatenate we are using one function strcat, and here st dot department, it will be stored in department and concatenated by ERP. Now our new value is stored in department st.dept. So now here we are creating, sorry, we are storing it a printf and store it in fp ampersand s and, sorry, ampersand s and st.dept, that is which is the data stored in dept will be assigned in our file, that is fp. Now just saying, thus just see that what is our output. Now just build it and run it from index.c. Now we want to see that what is our difference, what is our output. Enter the number of a student, one, name of a student like Lalit Kumar, and mobile number. This is department of student. Enter email of a student. Now semester of a student. Here we are successfully stored. Now just see that what is our change. Here this is our ERP which is generated by the system. This is Lalit Kumar's department name, and this ID is automatically generated by system. It will be always unique. If we enter new code, sorry, if we enter new name, then it will be changed. Here we can say that ERP. Now our work is done, that our page is done now. If you like this video, please subscribe, like and comment.